Hello super friends and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And in today's video we're going to be discussing what's going on with Iris West in The Flash Season 5, what her occupation is going to be and what role she's going to be taking in the show going forward. So let's discuss. Now, Iris has been somewhat of a target over the past couple seasons of The Flash. In Season 3, she was, accused of not doing much, just being pretty much a plot device for the idea of her being killed by Savitar. And then in Season 4, she got a lot of controversy due to the fact that she took up the role of leader of Team Flash and was being a lot more involved with Team Flash than what I think most of us thought she would be. Now, why I don't actually hate Iris West as a character, I actually really like Iris West as a character. I feel like there's an element of her character that's been missing from the early seasons that really made her who she was, and something I really feel they need to implement into Season 5. That particular element being journalism. Iris is a journalist. She is a reporter. She worked for a magazine and also an online website in Central City. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but she did work for this online publication in Central City, and she was a huge part of that in Season 1 and also Season 2. And it was a great part of her character. Back in Season 1, it was really awesome to see Iris kind of in work, doing her job, kind of, doing all these different articles, because she's a very talented writer. And this led to many awesome storylines, stuff that we could get back in Season 5 if they brought Iris back to work. Now, we have to assume that Iris still works there, because how is she getting an income? But, it's never really been explained. But it seems like this could be the direction Iris is going back to when we get to Season 5 of The Flash. Now, Candice Patton, who plays Iris West, was recently in an interview where they were discussing what was going on with Iris in Season 5, and she was saying that the storyline that Iris is going to be going down next season involves writing, is involving journalism, it involves Iris going back to being a reporter like she was in Season 1 and Season 2. And this is the best news ever. Iris is such a good character on The Flash, but she's been so wasted the past couple of seasons just due to the way that they've done her character. And I feel she works so much better being that side character to Barry. She's even more closer to Barry now, of course, now that they are married. And, she can just be that character who is the connection to Central City. She's the connection to the people. She's the connection to that side of things. And one thing I really loved about Iris in Season 4 was when she used her blog to actually contact the people of Central City to let them know about DeVoe and actually look out for DeVoe. That was like classic Iris. That was what we wanted. That was what we need from Iris. And that was just that little bit of hint of like Season 1-ness that we've been missing. But based on this interview and based what Iris is saying in this interview, she's going to be going back to that in Season 5, which is exactly what I want to happen, because this is what Iris needs. This is the development she needs. This is the story she needs to keep her relevant and to keep her awesome on the show like she was in the early days. This could even lead to Iris getting her own side story in Season 5 that she hasn't had for a long time. Like, do you remember her story back in Season 1 when she was the reporter and the Flash first showed up and she became obsessed with the Flash? She was trying to find out who the Flash was. Obviously, unbeknownst to her, it was her best friend and pretty much practical brother, Barry Allen. But it was a really awesome storyline to see her kind of chasing the Flash when, she knew him so closely. She grew up with him, in fact. So it was just stuff like that was a really intriguing, interesting storyline. Now, obviously, they can't do something like that again, because that is very much an origin story type thing. It's kind of like what you get with Laurel with Oliver and the Hood in Arrow Season 1. It's very similar to that. It's very much an origin story trope, but we can still give Iris this particular storyline that she gets to go down on the reporter side of things and actually go there. And obviously she can still show up in Star Labs and she can still show up and help out Team Flash, but her main role on this show should be her in the office job doing that side of it to bring in the reporter side of it into Team Flash to actually help them understand different things that perhaps other members of Team Flash couldn't understand. Like Cisco's not a reporter, Caitlin's not a reporter, Joe's not a reporter, Barry's not. So, they are missing that element of it that Iris can provide. And I feel like if they go back to this, it'd be a really awesome way to make Iris relevant in a different kind of way and make her relevant back in the way that she was in Season 1, which was an awesome, well-written, well-driven character. Also, this could allow other members of Team Flash to step up again who have kind of stepped down, like Cisco, who hasn't really had a story since Season 2, really. I mean, he kind of had one in Season 3 with Flashpoint and then, kind of getting with Vibe and his brother being killed due to Flashpoint, but he hasn't really had a proper good storyline, and especially in Season 4, Cisco had nothing. I mean, he had the Breacher storyline, but that was only a couple episodes, it didn't really go anywhere. So it was just Cisco really needs to like step up next season, and I feel like this would be the way to do it. You know, having the focus away from Iris on Team Flash side of things to allow Cisco to take back that role that Iris kind of taken away from him. So again, Iris just kind of going back to the journalism side of it would just be better for every other character on the show. But what do you guys think? Do you think Iris should go back to being a journalist next season, or are you happy? Did you like her as the leader of Team Flash? You know, did you like her being in such a prominent role in terms of the crime fighting side of things? Tell me all your thoughts about this. You know, if you have a completely different opinion to me, make sure you tell me that in the comment section down below. Like I said, personally, I think Iris going back to a writer and going back to being, you know, a blogger and all that good stuff, that is the perfect way to place her character in this show, and also to place her in terms of other characters, because again, it will allow all the other characters to shine in their respective roles, especially, like I said, Cisco, who really has a need for a story at the moment. And I feel like Iris stepping down will be able to provide that. And Iris just, I think, fits that role of being that supportive character who's the connection to Central City and the connection to the people really, really well. And I feel like this is where Candice Patton would really be able to show off her acting chops even more than she already can. Because I think Candice Patton is a wonderful actress. I really love Candice Patton, and I think she's great as Iris. It's just the material she's been given over the past couple of seasons have really not done her any favors, so to put her back to the state she was in Season 1 and Season 2 would do wonders for her. Also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, be sure to check out my podcast, Honor Thy Podcast. It is a weekly DCTV Arrowverse podcast I do with my good friend Dan McCants. It's very similar content to this, so if you enjoy this, and I'll leave a link in the description, go to that link, follow it, and you can have a look at our podcast. Subscribe if you enjoy, like if you enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll see you in the next episode of the podcast when it goes up. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. It'll help me out a lot. And share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV and get them to join the community. And as always, guys, please subscribe for your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning. And with all that said, guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.